Good morning. Hey guys, can we sit? Oh, so much to say. Guys, should we go to the dog park? Yeah, someone wants to. He is really talkative today. Alright guys, so in today's video we're gonna go over can I talk? Should you get a second dog, and 5 things that I recommend considering before you get your second dog. Okay, so the first thing to consider is, do you have the time for it? So this means spending time training, spending time washing the dogs, spending time individually with them, spending time feeding them, cleaning up after them. Even though you might think, oh well, I'm already doing it for one dog, it's a couple extra seconds to do it for another dog. It is a completely different thing. So for example, shedding. Now of course Leo was my second dog and he does shed a lot more because he's a husky, but the amount of hair that this guy sheds is a little insane. So let's start with training. It is easier to train the second dog if your first dog is already trained, but personally I still like to train them separately just so that I can have the most attention while they're still puppies and still learning and practicing. My 2 dogs really like to play with each other, so sometimes they'll just get really distracted while we're doing a little training session. So usually I have to have one in the crate or outside in the backyard while I'm training one of them, and then we'll do a switch. So I do this about once a day, 15-minute session with each dog, so that just turns into double the time for training, which isn't really much, but just something to think about because usually you're gonna want well-trained dogs, especially if you have 2 of them, because it can get really chaotic. And then they're spending like one-on-one time with them. Now if I want like a dog to cuddle with, it's kind of funny because I'll either call Bliss or Leo over and then one of them will come cuddle with me, but then the other one sees that I'm paying attention to them and they'll come over and want attention too, and then they end up just like playing and I get to cuddle with neither of them. So I'm not saying that all dogs are like this, but just something to think about with what kind of dogs you're getting, what breeds, what their temperament is like. Thing number 2 is, with double the dogs, you're gonna be spending double the money. This means on double the dog food, double the toys, double the vet bills. I learned this one really hard a few months ago when Leo actually got Giardia and he got some kind of, I don't quite know what it was. They thought it was ringworm at first, and then they said that it might have been just some bacterial infection on him. But when one dog gets something, it can get spread to the other dog. So for example, when we were treating one for Giardia, we had to check to see if Bliss also had it. And then the same thing, because he could have passed on his infection over to her, because we weren't sure what it was especially. We had to take care of both of them. That means 2 dog washes twice a week, trying to get rid of whatever it was that he had. Double the medicine, just double the vet visits. It was a little insane. So just keep that in mind, spending double the money when you have double the dogs. Alright, so thing number 3 is, will the 2 dogs get along? So we learned this in not a fun way. When Tyler and I first started dating, he had a really cute corgi puppy, but unfortunately we no longer have him because he and Leo just did not get along. Especially when it came to like food and toys, and we even tried putting him in a 9-week training program to kind of train it out of him. But basically just have resource guarding issues, and he would kind of try to fight Leo over it, which just didn't seem that it was going to end well since Leo is a lot bigger, and even though he's really nice, we just didn't want anything bad to happen. We did end up finding a really good home for the corgi, so that's kind of nice, but we really didn't I had never known that 2 dogs wouldn't get along like that. I think luckily, because Bliss is a doodle, she's pretty just like friendly and outgoing. I've never seen a dog that didn't absolutely love and want to play with Bliss. So I think I got lucky with these 2. But just make sure that you are aware of that and just have compatible breeds. I've also heard of people adopting a dog like from a shelter, bringing him home, and them just not getting along with the other dog. So just do your research, be aware, and do your best. Thing number 4 is, what are you gonna do when you travel? So luckily when I just had Bliss, it was really easy to drop her off at my mom's, or I had a bunch of friends that wanted to watch her. So it's really easy to have somebody watch a dog when it's just one. However, when you have 2, it's a little harder to find somebody who wants to take care of 2 rambunctious dogs. You can definitely find like a boarding place that will take them in. It is, like I said, just double the amount of money. but that is another option, so just think about it, because for me and Tyler, basically anytime we want to travel, we have to take account into whether we're boarding the dogs or where they're gonna stay. Oh, hi. So luckily we do end up just taking them on road trips, since usually we just travel by car and we like taking the dogs on hikes. But that isn't, oh hi, now you wanna come say hi too? But that isn't always possible, especially when we get invited to go to like a national park and we wanna go check that out. Dogs obviously aren't allowed, so then it just gets a little tougher on finding how they're gonna, or what they're gonna do when we go. Oh, you wanna eat her? Buddy, that's a big bite. Okay, so the last one, number 5, is do you have the space? When I first got Bliss, oh, don't knock that camera over. So I lived in a townhouse with a small yard, and behind there we had a dog park, and that's when I had Bliss, and I had Leo, but he was just like a teeny tiny, like 10-pound pup when I was there. Just make sure that you're gonna have the space for it, because especially like it depends on what breed you get for sure. Maybe they're smaller, maybe not as energetic, but just make sure that you do have the space for them to run and play. When me and Tyler moved into this house, one of the reasons that we chose this house was honestly because of the yard size. It gave them so much room to just run and play, and they love their backyard. So just make sure that you have enough space in the house for the kind of dogs that you have and what they're gonna need. With all that said, honestly, I love having 2 dogs, and I see so many more pros rather than cons, because they are so fun. They love to play together. They do keep each other entertained, but just make sure it's a long-term commitment. Oh, hi buddy, that's loud. Leo, drop it. Good boy. But it is a long-term commitment, so just make sure that you are ready for that long-term big change that comes with having 2 dogs. If you guys have any other questions, I'd love to answer, so make sure that you follow us on Instagram. Oh, hi guys. It's at Bliss and Leo, and we will see you guys on there. We love posting everything that they do, including all the fun adventures that we go on. So we will see you guys on there and on the next video. All right, bye guys. Sit. Ready? Get set. Go get it. Oh.